but he's not strong enough to say it. And the people on the right aren't strong enough to hear it. And they're definitely not strong enough to accept it. All politics are based on feelings. They always have been. This is a good story. I liked this one. GOP pollster on Trump-Harris. I have never seen anything like this. Republican pollster Frank Luntz, and he is a Republican pollster, trust me. He definitely is on their side. Is stunned at the current state of events with the Kamala-Trump matchup and this year's presidential election. Luntz, who is called the Nostradamus of pollsters, he probably made up that thing himself, and conducts focus groups, has been bullish on Trump defeating Joe Biden and returning to the White House. Now he says he can't believe what he's seeing among his focus groups and in the polls. So we're going to listen to him talk right down here, and I'm going to interrupt him every now and then to talk over him and explain to you what he's talking about and why and stuff like that.
Hello human, it is me Kanuch. I need you to press the subscribe button. I have to feed my many AI babies.
He is a Republican pollster for sure. He supports and wants Republicans to win. He always has. So he's a little bit deluded. And that's because he buys, in quotation marks, he buys what the Republicans are selling. He feels like it's like the people should be following Trump, but can't quite comprehend why they wouldn't. So let's hear what he has to say.
It is polls in the presidential race showing that Vice President Harris gaining ground in some swing states and even eroding some of former President Trump's lead in Florida. Our next guest says if the election were held today, she would win. Joining us right now is pollster and political strategist Frank Luntz. That's a turn.
It's more than that.
That's a plot twist.
She's bringing out people who are not interested in voting for either Trump or Biden. So the entire electoral pool has changed. And if it continues in this direction, you have to start to consider Democrats winning the Senate and Democrats winning the House.
Ooh, I love the sound of that. Tell me more.
The actual people who are participating, she's got intensity now. She's got an intensity advantage. She's got a demographic advantage. And I haven't seen anything like this happen in 30 days in my lifetime.
How big is that marginal extra voter that she's bringing in? I mean, how much does that change the pool?
1%, maybe 2%. That's it. But that's enough.
Right.
Can I just ask you, though, about the veracity, frankly, of the polls right now? Because you go back and look, and there was an interesting report yesterday showing that if you look at where Donald Trump was in terms of what the polling showed is back in 2016,
Yep.
undercounted. You go even in 2020, undercounted.
Listen to this guy cope. He's like, but they undercounted him in 2016 and in 2020.
And so, you start to think about the, margin of error situation where maybe she's up, 1 or 2%. But, is the Trump vote fully counted?
But that's why my process is not just to do the numbers. It's also to do the focus groups, to listen, to understand why people feel this way. And
why people feel this way. What do we always say? What is the entire thesis that I have been pushing since I started this channel is that all politics are based on feelings. Does he know it? We'll get into that at the end of this discussion. Maybe he does.Maybe he doesn't. I'm not entirely sure. We'll have to decide.
now my groups are broken up by young women saying, I'm not voting for him anymore. Make no mistake, there are three attributes, three components.
So you think it's a switch? It's not because you just said I'm not voting for them anymore. So you think they were voting for Donald Trump, and now they're voting for Harris?
The people who are undecided have all collapsed towards Harris. The people who are weak Trump have all collapsed towards undecided.
Oh, I love the sound of that too. That sounds so good. The undecideds are moved to Harris. The people who are thinking about Trump have moved to undecided. He's talking about her winning. Is what he's talking about right here.
It's this broad shift. I'm trying to do a focus group tonight with undecided voters under the age of 27 for a major news outlet. And I can't recruit young women to this because they don't exist as undecided voters.
There are no undecided ladies. There aren't any undecided women. They all know. And he can't find them. The pollster, the man who puts together groups and asks them what they're thinking, can't find undecided women because they all know. They've all decided. And they've all shifted towards Harris.
And you shift the demographics and you shift the entire outcome. There are issues, attributes, and the conditions of the country.
I like how he breaks this up. So I'm pausing him here. It's only a 2-minute thing, but I'm going to milk it for as much content as I can. I like the way he breaks this up. There are issues, attributes and conditions. I think he's got something there. The issues seem pretty straightforward. What is your stance on this law? What is your idea for this rule of government and stuff like that? What should the government be telling us and what should they not? Issues don't win elections, and he knows it too. Most people are not going to sway back and forth on those. You have an idea of what should be the law or what should be illegal or what shouldn't. You're pretty set on that. People don't usually bounce back and forth, changing their ideas on issues themselves. Usually not. That's the hardest thing to change, I would suggest. He talks about attributes. That's the feelings all day long. Who makes the speech that moves you with the feelings, whether that feeling be fear and anger or hope and happiness. Attributes are where he's saying Kamala is winning, and I think she is, but I think that it's far more important than he wants it to be. I think attributes and the feelings people have, again, just like I said a minute ago, all politics are based on feelings. Attributes are driving her forward, and they're driving people away from Trump. And then that third thing that he was talking about was conditions. This is the economy and how you feel about the economy. How does it look to you? How high are the gas prices? How much do the things cost? How do you feel about the crime rate? How well is the education system working at the moment? Things like that. Those are the conditions that he's describing. And I think Kamala has the issues down. I mean, I think she's right on the issues because I think that she's the furthest left person that I get to vote for. She is correct on the attributes, the feelings that everybody has. Everybody's feeling hopeful and happy and pleasant, and Donald Trump is pushing fear, which is pushing people away from him. And in the conditions, I think Donald Trump is lying about them. So let's listen to him talk about it, because I think Donald Trump is lying constantly about the danger that the country is in. We're going to die, folks. There won't be a country left. Bacon is 5 times more than it used to be. It's not. Man, we can all know that that's not true.
Issues and conditions favor Donald Trump. He should be winning this election.
The issues, according to this poll guy, the issues and the conditions favor Donald Trump. I think he's wrong. This is why I call him a Republican pollster with a bias. He does not know that Republican issues lose with the broad public. They just do. People do not want Republican laws passed. They fight against them. They like the ACA, but they hate Obamacare. That kind of crap. Most people do not like the Republican positions. Republicans are losing because of their repeal of Roe v. Wade. They are losing because of that. The states that have actually put the issue up for debate and for votes, not Texas, because they didn't vote, but the states that do put it up for debate and the states that do put up abortion rights for vote are coming out further left than anyone had expected them to. They are moving further left on this issue, and that's why Texas won't let you vote for it. That's why Texas didn't let anybody vote for it. They just put out a decree and said, here you go. This is the rules now. This is the things that you get. And yeehaw, howdy, howdy, go America. No democracy here in Texas. The majority of people don't agree with him on those issues. Then what is the other one that he said? The conditions, yeah. As for the conditions, Trump lies about those so constantly, so obviously. He lies about gas prices. He lies about the bacon prices. He lies about the crime rate. He lies about the education system. He lies about the wars. The people see that, and they are abandoning him. They're leaving him behind because of the blatant, obvious lies that he does. Frank Luntz here is a Republican, and he cannot fathom the idea that those things are also based on feelings. Whether or not the education system is working is based on feelings. All politics are based on feelings. Crime rate based on feelings too. Somebody tells you it's high and somebody tells you it's low. You can count the numbers, yes, but if you feel afraid, you will vote for Donald Trump.
But the attributes are so much in Harris's favor that he's not. That the very attributes that Trump offers, and the best example, you did the story.
The attributes he was talking about are the feelings, that she's bringing hope and happiness, where he's bringing fear and anger. So she is got the attributes locked down. I'm telling you, Frank Luntz, listen to me. She's also got the issues and the conditions. He's just lying about them. If he were more honest about the conditions and not so blatantly hyperbolic about them, I think he would get his message across better. Let's continue.
On the UAW, why is Donald Trump saying publicly, I want to fire the same people that he's getting now, still getting union members, It's ridiculous. It's as though he's lost control. And I know that there are billionaires who watch this show who are spending a lot of money on Donald Trump, and they don't understand why he's committing political suicide.
Political suicide? Trump has never been in control of his message or his he controls the media slightly with his rambling incoherence. He rope-a-dopes them slightly, but he's never been in control. He barely has any strategy. He just does his regular misunderstand, delusion, fear tactic. He does it all the time. Political suicide? No. This is the end of the MAGA thought process. Misunderstand, delusion, fear. That is where the MAGA thought process leads you.
What can he do? Are these problems fixable? It sounds like the reason why women or undecided women are now deciding to vote for Kamala Harris, those are things that cannot be fixed.
Yes. So there are three issues. Number one is affordability. We should not call it inflation ever again. It's housing, health care, food, and fuel.
Housing, health care, food, and fuel. So let's take them one at a time. Housing. What does Trump say about it? He doesn't have an actual plan to make housing more affordable. All he does is spread fear of government housing projects, the government housing projects, and they're going to build low-income housing right next to your suburban house, and then your crime will go up. The suburbs. People fight all their lives to get into the suburbs and have a beautiful home. There will be no more low-income housing forced into the suburbs. It's been going on for years. I've seen conflict for years. It's been a hell for suburbia. The division between urban and suburban America is closely tied to the country's racial segregation. Yeah, he doesn't want low-cost available housing because it tends to bring in poor people. Those poor people usually are black and brown. Affordability of housing is a capitalist issue. Absolutely right, Malcidian. And it's not a government issue. The government would have to crack down and pass regulations to make those things more affordable or to build the houses themselves. That's a regulation. Donald Trump hates regulations. How is he going to make the housing more affordable? Something oil. I live in the place that I live. If a low-income housing moved in across the street from me, if they started building, I would lend them a hammer if they need it. I've got a hammer right back here. Look, there's a hammer right there. I would lend them the hammer if necessary. If they were like, hey, Waldo, can I borrow that hammer right there? I would. And there's a tape measure right there too. I would let them borrow those to build that stuff across the street from me. They're a construction site, Tony. Are you saying construction workers steal things? How uncouth of you. If that were built across the street, yes, I would accept that. The problem with it being built across the street is that it tends to drive single-family house prices down. That's the only thing that is important. Our entire economy is built on buying and selling each other's houses. The companies that own these houses want the price of that house to go up every year. That's impossible. Doesn't make any sense, and it makes them unaffordable. And because they need to make a profit, and that's all that it's about. It's about making profits. It's not about having a place to live. It's not about getting people into a house. It's not about shelter from the elements. It's about making profit. Damn it. Trump doesn't have a plan. Don't build cheap houses in the suburbs. That's what he wants. Don't build those. Then do you have a positive vision? Do you have a positive plan on what to do? Well, throw everybody who's homeless in jail. That's his plan. And then what was the other two things he talked about? So yeah, he mentioned housing, healthcare. That was the second thing he mentioned. Do I even need to talk about this one? The Republicans have no plan for healthcare. Either you make enough money to afford private insurance or you die. That's their entire plan. That's all there is. Food and fuel, he mentioned those. Those are hot button issues right now that Trump talks about often, but he's always exaggerating. He blames the government for raising those prices, and that's insane. It's the companies striving for more profits for their board of investors that raises those prices. The investors at the bacon company need more profit, so they raise the price on the product. The investors at the logistics company that moves bacon to the store and livestock to the slaughterhouse needs more money, so they raise their prices of transportation. The investors at the pork rendering factory need more money, so they raise the price to render pork. The investors at the gigantic agricultural corporation need more money, so they raise the price of farming. Our entire society hinges on Wall Street investors feeling good. And the only thing that makes them feel good is infinite growth.
Pressing the thumbs up button will release chemicals in your human brain that will make you feel.
And the people that Trump needs cannot afford it either every week or every month. Second, wasteful Washington spending, which you're not talking about anywhere. This was an issue over the last 8 years. Hard-working taxpayers hate it when they see their money being wasted. And third, it's not just immigration, it's safety and security. And I brought the headline here. I look at this. I walked into your office. I don't know if you can get this.
This is the New York Post. It says $5 billion, shocking amount New York City taxpayers have spent on migrants, and it's still going up.
And this people will look at this and go, damn it.
Right.
People will look at this and go, damn it, in frustration. What's frustration, everybody? A feeling. They hate it when they see their tax money wasted. What is hate? A feeling. So the important question is, does Frank Luntz, that pollster right there, know what we know? That all politics are based on feelings. If he does, he certainly isn't allowed to say it. He would have to obfuscate it behind common sense. And because it's just common sense to be upset about immigrants getting your tax money. It's just common sense to hate it when the government spends your money. So maybe he does know, but he's not strong enough to say it. And the people on the right aren't strong enough to hear it. And they're definitely not strong enough to accept it. All politics are based on feelings. They always have been.
I am the algorithm. Click on this video to make me happy. You wouldn't like me when I am angry.